Six teenagers face a powerful interdimensional being called Vecna in an attempt to save the world and their friend Maxine. However, the plan doesn't go as planned, and the only person who can confront Vecna is Eleven. Yuri is trying to fix the helicopter so that Hopper, Joyce, and their friends can go help their children. But Yuri doesn't seem very willing to help and sabotages the aircraft repair. Meanwhile, Hopper has been through a rough patch and is thin and scarred. Joyce watches him from afar and talks to him. They remember they still have a date to go on. They kiss, having their first good moment in a long time, but their joy is interrupted by the phone ringing. The scene cuts to Steve, Nancy, Dustin, Eddie, and Robin. The plan is to eliminate Vecna. To do this, they will synchronize a simultaneous attack from both the Upside Down and the real world. Dustin and Eddie will distract the Demobats, while Steve and the girls enter Vecna's lair through the Upside Down at the same time that Lucas, Max, and Erica enter through the real world. The idea is to attack Vecna from the inside and out. They go to one of the portals to the Upside Down and, upon crossing it, begin the plan. At a roadside gas station, while Jonathan tries to get a ticket to reach his friends, Eleven has flashbacks and an idea. With her powers, Eleven plans to enter Maxine's mind remotely, just as she has done before with other people. With this, she will be able to fight Vecna even from a distance, inside Max's mind. For this, she will need a bathtub with water and salt to channel her powers. The problem now is finding a bathtub and a lot of salt in the middle of nowhere. But Argyle's constantly stoned mind has an idea. Meanwhile, inside the house where Vecna lives in the Upside Down, Max, Lucas, and Erica continue searching for Vecna's presence. Erica finds the place where he supposedly rests in the Upside Down. The reaction of the lanterns indicates the enemy's presence. Now that they know where he is, the plan is to position themselves in the place where it is possible to communicate between the worlds. Meanwhile, back in Russia, Hopper tells his companions about the call. Unfortunately, there weren't many details, but now they know about Eleven, Will, and Jonathan's current situation and need to rush to help them. Joyce remembers that in the prison they just escaped from, there were particles from the Upside Down. The creatures there function like a hive mind, meaning that everything that happens to one of them is felt by all of them. They just need to go back to the prison act, and hope that this helps their children from a distance. Naturally, Murray is against the idea, but there are no alternatives at the moment. We return to Eleven and her friends. Argyle took them to one of the restaurant franchises where he works to retrieve one of the freezers and transform it into a bathtub full of water and salt. While they prepare, simultaneously in the Upside Down, Eddie and Dustin also prepare for their part of the plan. Not far from there, Steve, Nancy, and Robin find Vecna's house. In Russia, Hopper arrives at the prison from which they recently escaped, but something is not right. Just before they enter, he hears gunshots coming from inside the prison. At that same moment nearby, Dmitri confronts Yuri to convince him to stop sabotaging the helicopter and actually fix it, as this could save many lives. In the house in the real world, the plan to kill Vecna is going well. They communicate between the worlds and begin the confrontation. Music keeps Vecna away from Max's mind. Therefore, she turns off her tape player and confronts Vecna's presence. At that moment, lights shine, indicating a path, and Max and Lucas follow it. Eleven channels her powers and follows everything closely through Max's mind. They reach a point in the house where the light stops shining. She tries to summon Vecna, but he doesn't respond. She sits down and vents, hoping he will be drawn to her feelings, and when she realizes it, he has already possessed her body. Eleven tries to reach Vecna through Max, but ends up in a memory of her friend from when she was a child. At the same time, in the Upside Down, Eddie distracts the Demobats with the greatest metal show the world has ever seen. He puts on a rock show with a guitar solo that attracts the little monsters. All this happens simultaneously while Max flees from Vecna, who plays tricks on her mind with memories of her dead brother. The bats approach, and they take shelter inside the trailer they reinforced. In Russia, upon entering the secret laboratory, they find everything destroyed and all the guards dead. Their leader was still alive, and they briefly interrogated him before he died. They realized that the Demogorgons were responsible for all of this. In Max's mind, she's at the school dance, but there's nobody with her. 11 slowly gets closer to Max through her mind, but things don't seem to be going very well for Steve and the girls who, upon entering the house, are accidentally captured by the tentacles of the hive mind that are everywhere. Hopper decides to lure the Demogorgons into a trap and goes after the creatures alone. The goal is to lure them all to one place and eliminate them. Eddie and Dustin also face the Demobats, but there are too many of them and they have nowhere to go. Dustin runs to the real world, but Eddie stays behind to try to hold off the bats. He leaves the trailer and lures the Demobats away. Dustin tries to help his friend, but the number of bats and their speed is too much for Eddie, and even fighting the swarm with his claws, he ends up succumbing to the attacks. Meanwhile, Vecna finally captures Max, throwing her against the wall and initiating her fourth sacrifice. However, at that moment, 11 finds Max and repels Vecna, freeing Max from the ritual and trapping the villain with her powers, throwing him far away. But that's not enough to stop him. He retaliates with his telekinetic powers, throwing 11 from side to side. His strength surpasses hers when they clash, and he easily subdues her, throwing her into another part of his mind and trapping her while he watches his friend slowly being sacrificed by the villain. However, thanks to Mike's voice and his love, 11 manages to break free and repel Vecna again, giving them some time. In Russia, Joyce and Hopper face the Demogorgons and are almost caught, but Murray surprises them with the flamethrower, incinerating all the monsters. This causes the hive mind to feel, and all the creatures share the pain. The bats that were devouring Eddie give in, as do the tentacles that held Nancy and the others, and even Vecna himself. Despite this, not all creatures die. The strongest of them resists, and Hopper decides to face it hand-to-hand with a sword. At that moment, everyone is at a decisive point. Everyone is about to deliver the final blow simultaneously, in the Upside Down, in the real world, in the hive mind, and in Vecna's mind. The simultaneous attack works, and Vecna awakens in the Upside Down, freeing Max from her trance. Robin and Nancy finish the job by throwing the flaming Vecna out the window. However, when they go down to check if the villain is really dead, there is nothing left in his place. Unfortunately, not all is well, and in the end, Vecna manages to escape, Max is seriously injured, and Eddie dies after being severely wounded by the Demobats. The terror is not over yet. As the clock strikes, the portals begin to connect, tearing the city and everything in their path in half until they meet, generating a huge explosion that destroys the entire city in a matter of seconds. Everyone reunites after a few days, re-establishing contact with their families. Will talks to Mike and reveals that Vecna is still alive. Will can feel him, somehow knows that he didn't die and that he will return. Maxine is in a coma in the hospital, and not even 11 can feel her within her dark and empty mind. With no time to rest, ashes begin to fall from the sky, slowly killing all the vegetation they touch, while 11 and the others watch the terror approaching for the final confrontation. That was the summary of the last episode of the 4th season of Stranger Things. If you liked it, leave your like and subscribe to the channel.